It is now my pleasure to invite His Honour, the Honourable Russ Mirasty, Lieutenant Governor of Saskatchewan, to the microphone to bring greetings on behalf of the Crown.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you to Tegan for that rendition of O Canada in 3 languages. Absolutely incredible how you do that and bring us all together. Thank you. Elder, thank you for the prayer. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, delegates, President and Board of Directors, it's indeed a pleasure for me to be here with you this morning in beautiful Saskatoon and Treaty 6 territory and homeland of the Métis, as we've already heard. I want to begin by acknowledging our hosts, the Board of Directors and staff of the Saskatchewan Urban Municipalities Association. Thank you for the invitation again and for all the hard work you obviously have to do to put this convention and trade show together and to bring your members and communities together for some very good discussions, I'm sure. I want to thank the mayors and councillors, all the community leaders that are here today for your willingness to take on the demanding roles of being a leader within your community, within our province, and really within our country. Leadership, as we know, is never easy. While you handle immediate issues on an ongoing daily basis, you must continually plan and manage longer-term concerns. In the ever-changing environment, rapidly changing environment, I may add, that we live in, you are constantly challenged to adapt and respond. I commend you for leading in a rapidly changing and demanding world. I also want to acknowledge and thank the city managers and staff who obviously are always behind the scenes doing the great work that needs to be done to ensure that communities and citizens of the province get the services that they need. It goes without saying, you're the experts here, but SUMA not only advocates regarding matters related to municipal government, you create a valuable forum for dialogue, as this one is, and for information sharing, networking, and getting to know the province more broadly. Your organizers have done a great job. I was having a look at the agenda, and it's just jam-packed, obviously, but well worth the effort to come here and to participate. And that is a key, to participate in what has been provided for you as a very informative and productive forum. Thank you for including honoring treaty responsibilities as well as a visit to Wanaskewin. I speak a lot about reconciliation and mention it a little bit here. It is important. It's important work that needs to continue, and it starts at the community level with individuals and then moves on to leadership and more broadly at the community level and then obviously at the provincial level. I do appreciate the work that I've witnessed and been invited to a number of events in your communities to participate in reconciliation events and look forward to doing more of that as time goes on. Strong relationships obviously are based on understanding and respect and can lead to positive change. This convention provides excellent opportunities to build and foster those relationships that already exist and to create new ones. I also noticed that you have discussions regarding mental illness and addictions, obviously a huge challenge for everybody, not only in the province here, but across the country. There are subjects that are difficult to talk about, but I hear and see that we're more comfortable bringing those out in the open so that we can more collectively deal with the challenges that are presented through and because of mental illness and the addictions. Since my installation as Lieutenant Governor in 2019, time goes on. It's almost 4 years. And I have been fortunate enough to attend numerous events around the province. I say numerous, that's what's written here for me, but it's I've lost count. And I've always been impressed with how friendly and welcoming and generous the people that Donna and I have met throughout the province here. in the past 4 years, including the youth of our province. Just absolutely incredible. We often say that youth are the leaders of the future, but I can tell you that many are leading today. As part of the distribution of and presentation of the Queen Elizabeth II Platinum Jubilee Medals, I presented medals to people as young as 9 and 10 years old. It's just incredible for the work that they're doing for their community. And I guess I'll go to the other end of that spectrum. Here in Saskatoon, presented one to a lady that was 108 years old for the work she continues to do volunteering in her community. Just absolutely incredible. And everybody, every age in between, that are contributing in some positive way to their community, but also to our province. Our veterans and senior citizens who exemplify sacrifice and community service everywhere in the province. Our multicultural organizations that celebrate and share rich heritage and traditions. We wouldn't be what we are today without being welcoming to people from all parts of the world. And leaders like yourselves who are willing to serve the people of their area and their province to the best of their ability on a daily basis. I offer my best wishes for a productive and enjoyable convention and trade show. And once again, my thanks to you, my sincere thanks for all that you do and the service you provide for the people of Saskatchewan. In closing, I am pleased to bring greetings on behalf of His Majesty King Charles III, our King of Canada. In the spirit of reconciliation, friendship, and sharing my language, I want to share that with you in Woodland Cree. Namidwidhitin, kitapita matava, tamiskatuin, gitsogamao, Charles Nesto, kigitsogimamino, utagitaskino, Canada. Kinaskumitnao gakido. Thank you very much and have an enjoyable convention.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of SUMA's Convention Planning Committee and the Board of Directors, I would like to thank you, Your Honor, for bringing greetings on behalf of the Crown. We appreciate your continued engagement at our annual event, and we are honored to have you attend the opening ceremonies of Convention 2023. And please give our very best to Donna. Well, good morning, everyone. What a great full house. This is just excellent to see, and sitting up on stage, it doesn't get any better than speaking to a full house. It is now my pleasure to bring greetings on behalf of the Convention Planning Committee and officially welcome you to the 2023 SUMA Convention and Trade Show. My name is Bev Dubois, and I'm a SUMA director, and I'm also a city councillor for our host city, the city of Saskatoon. I also have the pleasure of serving as a chairperson of this convention, the planning committee for Convention 2023. And at this moment, I would like to introduce the planning committee. The members are SUMA President and Councillor Randy Goulden, Councillor Bob Hawkins, Councillor Don Looning, Councillor Gerald Roy, and Mayor Mike Strachan. And I would like to thank the committee members for doing a great job along with the staff on this convention. As we gather in Saskatoon for a convention, I would like to acknowledge that we are on Treaty 6 territory and traditional homeland of the Métis people. SUMA respectfully acknowledges that we live, work, and play on the traditional and ancestral territories of many Indigenous people. We acknowledge the courageous and resilient community leadership of Indigenous leaders of all ages, and we acknowledge the harms and injustices, both past and present. We make this acknowledgement as an act of reconciliation, gratitude, and commitment to pursue an inclusive, collaborative, and respectful path towards building strong communities. The theme of this year's convention is Tune In. You can also think of it as tune, T-O-O-N, in, since we're in my home city of Saskatoon. Yeah, let's go. I heard someone clapping on that. Let's do that. I know that the theme almost sounds like this should be a virtual event, and while we do have some online components for those unable to join us in person, our focus for Convention 23 is on tuning in to new ideas. Knowledge is power. In our 2022 SUMA Convention survey, 80% of respondents said education, learning what the provincial government is doing, and borrowing ideas and connecting with peers is most important to their municipality. Convention 2023 is an opportunity to tune in to new ideas from peers, presenters, provincial leaders, and from SUMA, as we tune in and learn from all of you. One of the ways we learn from you is through direct conversations. That is why we brought back our Dialogue with SUMA sessions. The sessions held yesterday were an opportunity to share feedback with SUMA's advocacy committees about issues you would like to see SUMA advocate for or host an education session on. It was also an opportunity to share ideas with each other. I had the pleasure of attending the Intergovernmental Affairs session as I sit on that advocacy committee for SUMA, and I can tell you there were some great discussions and we heard some great feedback. The sessions were all well attended and there was a great respectful conversation in all of them. So thank you to members here today that attended all of those sessions. They were very, very useful. Over the next 3 days, there are plenty of other opportunities for you to tune in and learn from you. Later this morning, we have a session on the future of SUMA's governance, a session I encourage all representatives from our member municipalities to attend. And then tomorrow, we will have resolutions, and Tuesday, we have sector meetings and the SUMA annual general meeting. There's also plenty of opportunities to network and learn from both our presenters and one another with education and breakout sessions, the Saskatchewan Municipal Awards, and much more. I would be remiss not to mention something that happened yesterday, our first ever optional excursions. When SUMA's Board of Directors made the decision to move the annual convention to the spring, and aren't you happy about the weather, everyone? We're not in -40. Yes. Don't worry, the snow's not going to come till after the convention is over this year. So the intention in regards to the excursions was to take advantage of the spring weather and improve your convention experience by introducing new activities that showcase our host cities. As part of this change, we talked about excursions, and it was wonderful to see the plan come alive yesterday, and I hope everyone that attended Wanuskewin Heritage Park and the Saskatoon Wastewater Plant, as well as the Stars Hangar, I hope that you learned and also enjoyed the excursion. Yesterday's events were a great start to Convention 2023, and I can't wait for you to experience all that we have planned. As we gather this morning to officially kick off the 2023 SUMA Convention and Trade Show, we are honored to have many special guests in attendance. We were already honored with greetings from His Honor, the Honourable Russ Mirasty. We will also get to hear from my mayor of our host city, Mayor Charlie Clark, and SUMA Assure Board Chair Kim Gardner on behalf of the official opening ceremony sponsor, SUMA Assure. So at this time, I would like to take a moment to introduce our other special guests, and I ask that the special guests please stand as I call your name, but I would also ask the rest of you to please hold your applause until we are finished. There are a lot of guests, and if we applaud after each one, we will be getting the evil eye because we will be running late on our program. And I also apologize in advance if I mispronounce anyone's names. So here we go. Kathy Huron, President of Alberta Municipalities. Dan Rude, CEO of Alberta Municipalities. Dennis Volkov, Executive Director of the Association of Manitoba Municipalities, AMM. Kelly Cook, District Director for AMM. Lori Donne, Deputy Minister of Government Relations, and Sheldon Green, Assistant Deputy Minister of Government Relations, Andy Pikasek, President of Canada GPO, Chris Penny, CEO of Kinetic GPO, Linda Anwheeler, Second Vice President of the Provincial Association of Resort Communities of Saskatchewan, Parks, Sandy McVitie, Parks Northwest Regional Director, Kevin Wursta, Director of Rural Municipalities of Alberta, RMA, Jason Schneider, Director of RMA, Myron Knafleck, Chair of the Saskatchewan Assessment Management Agency, or as we know it, SAMA, Betty Rogers, CEO of SAMA, Ray Orb, President of the Saskatchewan Association of Rural Municipalities, SARM, Jay Meyer, Executive Director of SARM, Bill Huber, Vice President of SARM, Jackie Schlamp, President of the Saskatchewan Association of City Clerks, Jody Boulay, President of the Saskatchewan Parks and Recreation Association, Todd Schaefer, CEO of SPRA, Shan Landry, Vice President, Saskatchewan Seniors Mechanism, Holly Schick, Executive Director of the Saskatchewan Senior Mechanism, and Chris Costley, President of UMass, and also on SUMA Board of Directors. Also attending are life members, Sharon Armstrong, Donna Burkmeyer, George Bristow, Bruce Fiddler, Barry Gunther, Don Schlosser, Murray Westby, and my buddy, Roland Zimmer. We co-chaired a lot of things at SUMA over the years and had some fun. Please join me in welcoming all of our special guests. Thank you all for being with us and taking the time. We do appreciate that. So during our time together at 2023 SUMA Convention, I encourage you all to embrace every opportunity available to tune in to new ideas that can serve you far beyond the few days that we are together this week. Whether it be during the education sessions, at the breaks that we have, in your sector meeting, or at the President's Banquet and Awards Dinner tomorrow evening, I encourage you all to make the most of your time here. So I do hope that you enjoy the 2023 SUMA Convention, and I will now turn it over to Joan for the continuation of the program. Thank you, everyone, very much.
Well, thank you very much. What a wonderful, inspirational message that we started with His Honor, the Honourable Russ Mirasty, telling us about youth and leadership. Thank you for that message. For the Convention Chair, Bev Dubois, thank you for pronouncing all those names. Yes, that's all good. And also telling us about what to look forward to and the changes that we're making here today at the 2023 SUMA Convention. It's so nice to see the other provinces here finding out how to do things right. That's good. Now, I would like to welcome to the podium to bring greetings on behalf of the host city of Saskatoon, the Mayor, Charlie Clark.
Thank you very much, Joan, and good morning, greetings. It's amazing to have you back. Welcome back to Saskatoon. We're in overflow here at the back, and I don't know if you've heard, but we're working on a new, bigger convention facility here in the Downtown Event and Entertainment District. If you have any questions about that, just ask any of our councillors. We will tell you all about it. But it is amazing after 4 years to have everybody back in our community. And I also want to thank Tegan for the great opening rendition of O Canada, and Daryl for the prayer, and Your Honor for joining us here today. His Honor has been teaching me a bit of Cree, And one of the things that he shares is Niawaga Magantic, Neototemptic, as the way he often opens his speeches. And so I asked him what that meant, and he means to all of my friends and to all of my relatives. And I think as a way of thinking about us all gathering here from the north and the south and the east and the west, coming together to work together about how we build a community in the spirit of Treaty 6 and in the homeland of the Métis, I think that's a very powerful teaching. And so it's always meaningful to have you here. And I was told I only have 3 minutes, so I'm just going to try. Thanks, Joan. So two things that I want to say. To Bev, my council colleague, and to the Convention Planning Committee, to the SUMA staff, Jean-Marc, and the whole team, to the entire board of SUMA, for all of you who have worked so hard. This is the biggest day for SUMA and the SUMA staff to put this convention together. Let's give them a huge round of applause for all the work organizing this. At the Ramey last night, I heard so many positive comments. We were so happy to show off that the Ramey Modern to all of you, and I can hear the positive energy that's coming. And so, I also want to welcome all of the delegations and the visiting partners from Manitoba, from Alberta, from SARM. It's great to have all of you here today as well. And the other thing that I was thinking about what to say today because of this chance with all of us together. And the thing I just want to really emphasize is just how important the work you are doing, that we are doing as local municipal leaders is. And that's whether or not you're a you're a mayor, you're a councillor, you're a reeve, you're a chief, or whether you're a CAO or a city manager or city administration or member or departmental head. Because we've been through a lot in the last few years, and our cities, our communities, our residents have faced a lot of destabilizing experiences. We know the pandemic was a crisis and a challenge that we all had to navigate through, and that our residents turned to us to find a way through and to know they were going to be okay. We also just had the 5th anniversary of the Humboldt bus crash. We had the Lalache school shooting. We had a little while further back from that the Husky oil spill that contaminated drinking water for Prince Albert and many communities. We've had the James Smith Cree Nation mass stabbing in our community, in our province here. And now in Swift Current, they've got flooding going on as we speak. And in every one of those cases, your community goes into a crisis. And in every one of those cases, it's the mayors, councillors, reeves, CAOs, city managers, chiefs, who the community is saying, what are we going to do? Are we going to be okay? Are we going to get through this? And you're all carrying that load. And we've seen over and over again in all of those situations, people come together and local leaders step up and find a way forward. And now we know we're living in a time in Saskatchewan where we have this incredible opportunity. We have more and more where the world is turning to us for what we have. And it's amazing to be in this place. And we're also at a time where our residents are facing so many challenges of inflation, of the destabilizing impacts of COVID still carrying over. We've heard about mental health, addictions, homelessness affecting our residents and affecting our community. And also the effects of social media, creating polarization and pulling people apart. And that's why the work that we do at the local level that isn't partisan, isn't about this party or that party. It's about what do we need to do to build solutions in all of the changes that we're facing in this world. I read a book recently that talks about leaders being meaning makers and helping make meaning out of nonsensical or challenging situations. And that's what all of you play a role to do. And so this next few days where we have a chance to be together and to talk and to build an agenda and to have a clear message to the provincial government, the federal government, to build relationships with Indigenous partners and learn how we can build truth and reconciliation, this is an important time. Because we can be leaders in the country in Saskatchewan, as we have been, and we'll continue to be, and we can be leaders in the whole world in terms of how do we build a way forward in these uncertain times and create opportunities so that all those children and grandchildren growing up in our communities, from whatever background they are, can see a strong future for themselves here. So let's have a great conference. Let's enjoy it. And while you're here and in between those important meetings, feel free to go say hello to the restaurants and the local businesses. They'll be very happy to see you as well. So thanks very much. I really look forward to the next few days.
Thank you very much, Mayor Clark. If you're going to go over your 3 minutes, it better be good. And I thought that was very inspirational. And, you know, I'll forgive him. Although if you go over, you have to buy the MC a beer in some of those said restaurants and lounges. Yeah, okay, deal. That was awesome. Thank you so much for that, that highlight on the important work that you do and how we can get that work done here over the next 3 days. Well done. Our opening ceremonies are kindly sponsored by SUMA. It is my pleasure to introduce Kim Gartner, CAO for the town of Macklin, and SUMA board chair to bring greetings on their behalf. Kim.
Thank you, Joan. Your Honor, head table guests. Mayor Clark, you are obviously more important. You're given 3 minutes, I got 2. You know, last night when I was going through my notes, seeing if there was anything I should add, I realized this is my 30th convention. So for all those fellow dinosaurs, raise your hand if you've been here for more than 30 years. Congratulations, Barry. I know. Well, good morning, everyone. I'm so happy to be here this morning. It's not very often that they give a microphone and allow an administrator to talk at this convention, so I'm going to take my time. I promise I'm going to be brief, but I am going to talk about SUMA. It's my honor to bring greetings on behalf of the management board for SUMA. We're all members of SUMA, just like you. For those of you that know me, it's no surprise that I believe in this program, because insurance is fundamentally about helping each other out in a time of need. When you pay that premium, you're buying a promise that someone will be there when you need them. SUMA takes that promise seriously, and not just when money changes hands. We're committed to it every day. SUMA is there for you when things are going well, giving you tools to protect your community before something happens. We want to save your facilities from damage and allow Saskatchewan hometowns to stay safe and healthy. If a pinch of prevention is worth a pound of cure, a penny of risk management saves you at least $1 in damage never done. And of course, SUMA is there for our members when things go wrong. When you call SUMA to make a claim, you're talking to people who not only know municipal operations, but they know you. The faces you'll see at our trade show booth are the same year after year. So when you call on a crisis, you're more than just a member. You're a person, you're a community in need. And SUMA will follow through on our promise to help. Often as municipalities, we wait until something bad has happened before we reach out. Our landfill is closed. Our water treatment plant can't keep up anymore. So we look to our neighbors to find a solution, to work together to solve problems. Today, I want to encourage you to consider what can happen when you work with your neighbors before something goes wrong. Think about the difference it can make to safeguard all the things that make our municipalities hometowns. It's about more than just rinks and halls, sidewalks and swimming pools. It's knowing our neighbors have our back. So over the next few days, find time to talk to the people you know belong to SUMA, to hear why we joined and why we stay. Talk to our amazing staff that we have in the trade show. Find out what they know and how they work for you. These stories will show you that SUMA doesn't just say we'll be there. We're following through that promise every day. Thank you, and have a fantastic convention.
Thank you, Kim. I don't know. I don't think he owes me a beer. That was awesome. Well, that's the official part, but we still have a couple more really important messages to get to you today. I have the pleasure of calling forward the SUMA President, Randy Goulden, for the President's address. Randy?
To our elder, your honor, your worship, head table guests, and good morning, SUMA. So let's hear ya. Let's do that one more time, and I need a good morning back. Good morning, SUMA. And welcome to the 119th Annual Convention. It is my honor to be here with you again today and this year, and so wonderful to be back in Saskatoon after such a long hiatus, 2019, Mayor Clark. And I can't tell you just how excited I am to be able to have 3 days with each and every one of you to talk, to visit, to chat, to talk about some of the things going on in your communities and some of the things that we have to work together on. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Randy Goulden. I'm a councillor for the city of Yorkton, and a big shout out to my council and my mayor, Mayor Hipsley. Good morning, Mayor Hipsley. And I'm proud, I'm so very proud to serve as the president of SUMA. I have a long history with the SUMA board, and I'm so happy to see our lifetime members here today that I've served with a few years ago. But prior to stepping into the role of interim president in early 2022, and being elected formally at the convention a year ago here in 2022, I was the East Central Director for many years and has served as interim president just a few times. When we were considering the theme for this year's convention, we wanted to encompass all that we have to offer into one short, catchy statement. No easy task. Since, as you all know, convention is so much more than just one thing. In the end, as Councillor Dubois talked about, we landed on tune in, as we hope Convention 23 will be an opportunity to tune in to so many new ideas from your peers, from your presenters, from the provincial leaders, and from SUMA, as SUMA tunes in to everything and we learn from you. So we look forward to all the ways we will tune into one another over the next few days, whether it's through networking, education sessions, dialogue with SUMA and the provincial ministers, or some good old-fashioned tuning in at the social events. Now, speaking of social events, we hope everyone enjoyed the return of the welcome reception last night. I know I certainly had a wonderful time getting a chance to connect in a more informal way while having the opportunity to take in some unbelievable exhibits at the Rémy Modern. Wasn't that a wonderful evening? Thank you to the City of Saskatoon for that beautiful facility. We were also very excited to kick things off yesterday by bringing back last year's successful Dialogue with SUMA sessions. I hope you got the opportunity to attend and chat with one or more of SUMA's advocacy committees. But if you don't worry about it. Don't fret, because we have plenty more opportunities to tune into what SUMA has and what SUMA will be doing for the next little while over the next few days. And that's what we're all here for. For example, you are able to tune into the future of SUMA and the work that's being done on the governance review. We have the open house, and later this morning, you're going to learn about the potential of a new governance structure for SUMA's Board of Directors. We will also have members of the board and SUMA staff in the open houses so that you can ask your questions and they will provide any answers that you need. but we're also very much looking forward to your feedback as we move ahead together. So SUMA recognizes the importance of education for both elected officials and for the administrations as they navigate our roles in our hometowns. You have all clearly stated and shown the importance of continued learning in local governance. In last year's convention survey, as Councillor Dubois talked about, 80% of respondents said education, learning what the provincial government is doing, and borrowing ideas and connecting with peers is the most important to their municipalities. So we use these surveys to tune into exactly what you as municipal officials want from convention. So I'm excited to share with you just a little bit more about our education sessions that we have planned for the next few days. So whether you are interested in learning more about honoring our treaty responsibilities as municipal officials, or how to prepare for wild weather in your community, or the connection between municipal planning and community well-being, there will be a session just for you. And as always, we have our breakout sessions for each type of municipality. So whether you're a city, you call a town or a village home, or are interested in knowing what's going on in the north, there is a session for you. Continuing our education as municipal leaders, it's not just limited to formal education sessions. Everything encompasses networking with others, sharing your ideas, and discussing all the common issues that we have together. So as SUMA, we often talk about networking with peers, and the annual convention is an absolute perfect opportunity to do just that. So tune in to some new ideas, learn from one another. But convention also offers the chance to network with our provincial officials, our trade show exhibitors, who offer products and services geared towards municipalities, the sponsors that make all our events possible, and presenters who are there to specifically share their knowledge with our Saskatchewan municipalities. On Tuesday afternoon, we will have the opportunity to tune into and learn from the success and the innovation of Saskatchewan's municipalities as we celebrate the 16th annual Saskatchewan Municipal Awards. We will carry our celebratory moods into the evening as we gather to honor the long-serving municipal employees and elected officials that make our hometowns what they are. We'll be doing that at the President's Banquet. And then we'll be swapping our footwear, folks, for some dancing shoes to round out the evening. It's been a long time since we were able to celebrate at the President's Banquet with a live band and dancing. So hopefully you haven't forgotten your best moves. And I know the Board of Directors will be the first ones on the dance floor. Finally, on Wednesday, you will have the opportunity to tune into provincial officials at the dialogues and then the Bear Pit sessions. And hopefully it is a strong two-way connection, and they will tune into you just as much. Now, as you know, these are excellent opportunities to have your concerns heard and questions answered by provincial ministers and the Premier face to face. For many of us, it is the only chance we get in a year, so I encourage you to make the most of it. I would also like to encourage you to take advantage of the time set aside to browse the trade show. This is a dedicated trade show viewing time later on this morning, as well as tomorrow from 9:30 to 10:30. This is an excellent time to make important connections for now and into the future, as you never really know what your municipality may need down the road. Now, before I wrap up, I'd like to take some time to tell you about some of the wonderful things that SUMA has been up to over the past year. Well, folks, we returned to in-person regional meetings. So I had the chance, a wonderful opportunity, along with SUMA staff and my fellow board member, Randy Donhauer, to visit many of your communities and chat with you face to face about what's going on in your area of the province. At those meetings, we began our governance review rollout, which I mentioned earlier, and began gathering your feedback. As a member-driven organization, we want you to have an active role in deciding the future of SUMA. So we will remain tuned in into your considerations, your concerns, your input as we move forward with the process. Over the summer, we held a successful summer school for mayors and councillors at the University of Regina. It was quite a unique event, with those who attended being able to stay in the dorms and have the full summer school experience except for the assignments and the homework. Although I'm sure many of you attended, did take plenty of knowledge home to implement in your communities. Now, SUMA has also hosted 18 webinars over the course of 2022 and have already held several this year. These are unique opportunities that allow you to take in specific focused education from a variety of presenters in a relatively short time, usually an hour or two at the most, from the comfort of your own home or your office. And when you did travel, you could bring along Municast, SUMA's podcast focused on all things municipal. This season of Municast has been focusing on connecting with people involved in this convention. So if you've been listening, you likely have a bit of a head start on knowing who and what to expect over the next few days. We encourage you to visit the member portal on SUMA's website for recordings of all of the webinars you may have missed, and to keep an eye on the events section of the website for more upcoming opportunities. All of this is in addition to the work that SUMA does all year round. Plenty of advocacy, talking about what we've heard during resolutions last year, and advocating for changes you've requested. The Executive Committee attended many meetings with both provincial and federal ministers. And as you will learn from the dialogue with SUMA sessions yesterday, our committees were tuned into working with our provincial and our federal counterparts to create change that works for everyone. Now, throughout convention, during education sessions, sector meetings, resolutions, dialogue sessions with ministers and more, it is my hope you embrace all of the opportunities available to foster those current relationships and build new ones with your municipal peers. The Board of Directors and the staff will be easily accessible over the next 3 days as well. So if you have any questions, any concerns, any input, please don't hesitate to reach out to one of us. I know I speak for all of the board and all of the staff when I say we would love to have conversations with as many of you as we can, to take full advantage of the opportunities to tune in to exactly what your municipalities are looking for from SUMA, and hopefully hear a little bit about what you think we're doing well, and so we can continue to build on these successes. So SUMA members, our guests, Your Honor, Your Worship, I look forward to speaking with you over the next several days. Thank you for joining us, and enjoy every minute of our convention. Thank you.
As usual, amazing. You know, that Yorkton area, they just produce these really smart, attractive, charming women. Hey, Randy? I love Randy. I've known her my whole life. That was such a positive message. Can you just feel the energy coming off of Randy? Give her another round of applause. My bad. I forgot to welcome and address a video. So while you're fooling around with that voting, I would like you to pay attention to the video coming up. Our next guest was unable to join us in person for the FCM address. But acting FCM President Scott Pierce was kind enough to send a video. So let's pay attention to that video, and then we'll come back to the test vote.
Hi, everybody. Bonjour à tous. Scott Pierce here, acting FCM President, Mayor of the Municipality of Gore in Quebec. I wish I could be there in person with you, but unfortunately it wasn't possible this time around. But I'd like to say a big thank you to SUMA for the invitation. FCM had an excellent annual convention and trade show in Regina last year, and I wish I could be there with you now. But I'm happy to outline FCM's priorities and perspective right now in April 2023, and how we're ready to further help and support our members in Saskatchewan. First, on behalf of FCM and our board of directors, I'd like to thank our on-lead president, Tanine Rudick, for championing the role of local government. We really appreciate her contributions, and I'll be doing my level best to successfully fulfill the duties of the role, even if it's on video sometimes. I also want to recognize the work of our Saskatchewan board members who ensure your voices are reflected in our work. SUMA President Randy Goulden, SUMA Vice President, Mayor of the Village of Torquay, Mike Strachan, Saskatoon Councillor Marion Lowen, Martinsville Councillor Jamie Martins, and my old friend, SARM President Ray Orb. As Saskatchewan local leaders, you know just like I do that there's rarely a dull moment in the municipal world. At FCM, we've been busy responding to the 2023 federal budget, which was tabled on March 28th. You know firsthand that the budget severely impacted Canadian communities relying on our CMP for local policing, and that includes Saskatchewan hometowns. I can tell you that everyone at FCM is feeling the same disappointment and frustration about the federal government's decision not to absorb the retroactive costs associated with the latest collective bargaining agreement. We've been crystal clear about this, and we're working closely with SUMA to get the message out. The federal government negotiated with our wallets, and the cost estimates we were given to prepare were way too low. Now we're urging the federal government to reconsider this decision and avoid seriously impacting your communities and your residents. FCM is also pushing hard for our members to be actively involved in any future decision-making on contract policing, so this never happens again. The financial bind that this decision has placed us in, it's part of a bigger picture. Canadian municipalities are stuck with 19th century financial tools to respond to 21st century problems and responsibilities. Municipalities do the most for citizens in terms of providing services, but we get such a small piece of the pie. Here in Canada, municipalities have to make do with an average of 9 cents out of every tax dollar that's collected. That's stretched thin to help cover a huge range of municipal services, including policing, but so much more. Meanwhile, your members are seeing record population growth in Saskatchewan. We know that population growth is a big positive for communities, but it brings another set of challenges, especially in terms of providing services, housing, core infrastructure, and amenities like parks and libraries. Getting more federal money circulating to municipalities via proven programs is more important than ever. That's why FCM has been campaigning publicly for a doubling of the Canada Community Building Fund. The CCBF has been used to great effect in communities both big and small around the country to provide us with more fiscal firepower and to make sure our infrastructure grows on par with our residents' needs. Our ask for communities is only right when you consider the municipalities own and have to maintain more than 60% of the country's vital infrastructure. Saskatchewan, like a lot of provinces, is also facing a significant housing shortage. At FCM, we've been pushing for help in getting the right kind of supply online in our communities. Last month's launch of the long-awaited Housing Accelerator Fund has the potential to remove a lot of obstacles to supply across the country in both rural and urban zones. However, municipalities and smaller communities in particular shouldn't be locked out by an overly complicated application process. We've been stressing the need for the federal government and the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation to make sure this is a relatively straightforward process so that communities of all sizes can take advantage of it. Saskatchewan communities are looking for support on other fronts too, like dealing with extreme weather improving broadband access, and getting access to more mental health support. When you look at what your communities have had to deal with in recent years, from extreme heat and drought, severe storms, we know it's something that businesses, farmers, and communities are very concerned about. You can count on FCM to keep advocating for more support, so communities are more empowered, with municipal assets more resilient, and built to withstand major storms, flooding, and everything else. We did see a gain for communities with a partial top-up of the Disaster Mitigation Adaptation Fund in November, which was driven by FCM's advocacy, but no, there's much more work to do. When it comes to broadband, we know it's critical for local economies and the quality of life. That's why we're pushing for a needs-based stream to the Universal Broadband Fund, so we can ensure all communities across the province can get better access to high-speed internet. And finally, we've been strengthening our advocacy for a national conversation on mental health, involving federal, provincial, and municipal governments. We know it's important to increase access to mental health services in hometowns of all sizes, and we look forward to engaging your communities in this discussion. I know there's been some big issues I've spoken about today, and I hope we can continue the conversation with you in person at the FCM's annual conference and trade show set for May 25th to 28th in Toronto. We're looking forward to a strong contingent from the prairies, so your voices are clearly heard. And we shape the national municipal agenda and engage with federal representatives. Thanks everybody for your attention today. And Randy, I look forward to collaborating and spending time and listening to all of your wisdom. Looking forward to see you soon. Cheers.
Thank you to Scott Pierce. My apologies for not showing that sooner. Very important message, and I hope you gleaned a lot from it.